Hello from the studio where I am transmitting this Heart School transmission. Probably around 1 year since I shared and launched the first of Heart School's offerings online for all to see. That was part of a general experiment, I suppose, to put out the idea or articulate some of the percolations, to plant some seeds around this idea that there is existing lots of academic support for pursuing creative thought and disciplines and subjects, and there also exists lots of technical, practical support and guidance for how to do certain things. The bit that is missing, or has felt missing to me, has been the sort of human, holistic anchor point of how to actually navigate life and creation, basically, as a person who maybe doesn't feel like a full sort of crafts person who can be deployed, whose skills can be deployed for other ends, also doesn't feel like a sort of entrepreneur business person who can sell and monetize and be shrewd with how they operate as an individual in their career, and also not feeling like I wanted to go any further down academic routes because that was not me either. And I was somewhere in between, or below, or above, or around, in between, amidst, in relation to feeling very outside and unrepresented or misunderstood, or basically there were all these like unacknowledged, underdeveloped ideas and parts that I hadn't been able to explore whilst teaching, things that were coming up in like one-to-one conversations, one-to-one tutoring kind of chats around, some of the deeper layers of what we do and why. I just wanted to reflect briefly on why I haven't shared any Heart School stuff for a while, and it's because I've been having an incubation period of feeling significant ick and grossness and like resistance to the idea of having a kind of expertise that I offer and then have answers for, and then present that to people, to direct them to me as someone who has answers to something, or someone who can solve problems, or someone who can rescue others. Obviously the role of a guide, a teacher, a tutor, a mentor, a coach is super important, and this is why, it is ultimately a lot of the work I end up doing, not through intention, just because it just, I think, is part of what I'm here to do, in terms of my purpose, whether that's spiritual, like my human design as a projector, for example. It just is what happens, for better or worse, and I need to like step out of the way and let that happen and figure out how to offer the work in a way that people can access, in a way that it lands with people. It's so interesting how we feel like we need to shoehorn ourselves or package ourselves in existing lingo, existing paradigms, existing languages, but I've always felt like I don't fit into any, that I am a bit of a bridge. I reject rules and different languages, or rather, I don't mean like actual verbal languages, I mean languages of marketing or selling or sales, or shoulds and shouldn'ts, rules about viral, content creation, all that crap. I don't adhere to that, and I don't believe in playing by those kinds of rules, even though I have absorbed lots of information, I've done lots of studying, I've done lots of researching, and I've kind of going through this process of killing the teacher, killing the teachers, and finding my own way, finding my own expression, and that's part of everybody's journey. I think it's part of the kind of like adult development, spiritual journey, whatever, of having that period of expansion and input, and then filtering out what's important, what's applicable, what's relevant, and then rejecting everything else. And I do feel like in the past year, and this is not to like throw shade or shame on myself for what I've done and or to undermine it, which can be my tendency to kind of like pull the rug out and say it was crap, bad idea, abandon. Ultimately, I have, I still believe in it. I still think there's something happening here. There's always something happening. And it's something that it just like, whether I like it or not, as much as I try and stop it, these things, these ideas, these sentences, these things on the tips of my tongue are occurring, and they need an outlet. They need to be aired, whether it's in this video, whether it's to resonate with other people in similar conversations, whether it's in group work, coaching work, one-to-one guidance, whatever. It's like, I experience this stuff, I think about this stuff, I agonise and ruminate about this stuff. I have lots of other practices of, integration and therapy and breath work and whatever that I kind of like dip my toe into and dip in and out of. But like all of those other contexts, there's like a hollow core where Heart School is, for me, trying to fill some of those gaps and bridge, ultimately, and forge new territory in how we kind of are as people who are I just feel like there's ick around the word creative. I feel ick around creativity coaching. I don't believe in it. I think like people do be who they are. People are what they are. There's an extent to which growth and feedback and self-reflection and learning are super valuable and definitely important, but I don't think they're attributable to a particular course or teacher. I think it's all within. I don't believe in that hierarchy. I believe we learn together, and the implications for, how you offer a service or how you sell a product or solve a problem for somebody or guide someone or rescue someone are difficult, because it's like, what do we do with that? Ultimately, there's work that's happening. And when I say work, I mean like the work. There's stuff that's happening, things are moving, insights are happening, people need to connect and communicate about that. They don't always have people that understand them. Then they maybe reach out to somebody like me who might understand them if they resonate with what I'm about and how I communicate. So therefore, ergo, Heart School and its whatever's going on here, like, will keep coming. It's there, it's happening, and I'm capturing it right now. And I'm just putting this here, I guess, to say, like, there has been a drought. I've been trying to focus on music makes the people, and basically like attend to the depth of my musical calling. But also acknowledging that, like, when I finish this album, when I've done these gigs, like, I might want to go back to something else. I want to write something. And I'm not somebody who can just, like, apply themselves to one thing and do it and try and test it and try different things and beaver away and be in one network, connecting in one industry or one art world or whatever, and find that kind of, like, lasting relationships and success. I flit, I move about, I jump, I'm a bridge. And that's just the way I am, and I'm going to kind of like accept that in relation to Heart School being yet another one of those projects, ideas, whims, things that I do. I'm going to leave it there, but there will be lots of content coming around collective evolution to a more anarchistic, let's say, different kind of economy in terms of creativity. Things about jealousy, comparison, imposter syndrome, being a big fish in a small pond, narcissism, and how narcissistic traits show up in creative practice. The difference between projects and tasks, very exciting. And unmasking, I think that might come next. Trying to unmask the and engage with the neurodiversity lingo in a way that's useful, sensitive, respectful, helps with autonomy and empowerment, and not the kind of shallow identification label application that we can see in the sort of self-diagnosis social media stuff. So that will all be coming soon. In the meantime, thank you for watching this slightly jumpy transmission, which is the way I operate. I don't have a script. I speak through something speaks. I just move my mouth. And the nugget at the end is that when you breathe that down, that mind chatter of all the intellectual content that I have shared, and then breathe it up as well from like the root, breathe it down from the crown into the heart space, solar plexus areas. It's like it's all smoke and mirrors, swings and roundabouts, and we are what we are, and you see me and I see you, and it comes down to trust, identification, resonance, and if we're on the same vibe about things or not, it might be a useful conversation, fit, interaction, might speak the same language, over and out. Thank you.